I'm going to be sharing with you in this video how to stop being controlled by the people in your life. Because this is the biggest reason why people don't live a life that they truly want. We're controlled by people and we don't even realize it. The people that are controlling us often don't even realize that they are controlling us. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to stop being controlled by people, even if it's family, even if it's friends, especially if it's family, especially if it's friends, and also if society in general is trying to control you, and how to overcome this so that you can step back into your power and live a life that's in alignment with your heart. So if you're new to this channel, what I want you to do is I want you to hit that subscribe button. I want you to hit that notification bell because I do post a new video every single day. Also, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation. Also, I do have a group program coming up. So if you want to be part of the program, there's going to be a link in the description box for more info on that as well. So how can we take back our power and live the life that's truly in alignment with our hearts? Because we say we want to do things, we say we want to step into our power, we say we want to attract financial abundance, or to go after that goal, or to go after that thing and do that thing. But then we also say yes to people when we don't want to say yes to that person. We feel guilty. We feel like we're going to be assholes for saying no. But here's what I want you to understand. The first question I want to ask you is, are you living a lie or are you living a truthful life? Because the biggest way to stop being controlled by people is to tell the truth more. Are you saying no when you don't want to say something? Because sometimes what we do is we say yes because we're afraid of disappointing people. I noticed this within myself in the past. I noticed this with a lot of my clients as well, is that we say yes because we're afraid of people's reactions. And this is such a big issue because basically you're living a lie, you're saying no to your heart so that you can say yes to somebody else's illusion of what they paint in their minds for you to be. Like somebody has this idea of what they want you to be, and just so that that illusion doesn't break in that person's mind, you say yes. Because like, oh, I don't want that person to think something wrong about me. You know, really what you're saying is, I want to keep painting the illusion that they have in their mind, and I want them to keep thinking that whatever they think of me is who I really am. Now, you're not actually saying that consciously and explicitly, but that's the implicit message. You're feeding into what that person wants for you. So do you want to live a life of truth or a life of lies? And are you telling the truth? Maybe somebody has something that they're showing you. They say, hey, check this out. And you're honestly busy. You honestly have no interest of giving any time and energy to this. And so what if you were just to say, I don't have any interest in seeing this right now. I'm sorry. You don't even have to say I'm sorry. Like, that's the thing. We say we're sorry, but it's like we don't have to be sorry. Unapologetically say, I'm not interested in this right now. What would happen? What would happen if you were to unapologetically say no to the person that wants you to look at what it is that they want for you because you have no interest? And that's the truth. You're just telling them what the truth is. The truth is, you're busy right now. You don't want to look at that. The deeper question is like, oh, well, Francis, well, that would be weird. No, what if I reframe the question? I say, what if you were just to tell the truth of the situation? What if you were just to tell the truth? What if you were to say actually how you felt? Which is, I don't care about this right now. What if you were just to be honest? What if you were to live a life based on truth and not a life based on lies? That's the first way to not be controlled by people, is to tell the truth and say how you really feel. Because sometimes we say that we want to talk to people, we pretend to be engaged in conversations that we have no interest in being, and that's when we're controlled. When you feel guilty, when you feel angry, when you feel any of these lower emotions, what that's pointing to is somebody is controlling you. Whether they're doing it consciously, usually unconsciously, or unconsciously, they are controlling you, and they are not allowing you to step into the fullness of who and what you are. Your true self is always changing. Maybe in some moments you do want to hang out with that person, or you do want to say yes, but maybe in that moment you don't want to be with that person or say yes to whatever it is that they're proposing you to do. So what you do is you tell the truth. The first thing you can do to stop being controlled by people, to stop being controlled by family, is to just tell the truth of what the situation is unapologetically. Because sometimes in the past I used to be like, okay, actually, like, I'm sorry for not being sorry. You know? Like, I'm sorry for the fact that I don't care about this right now. And I just need to go do what I want. I want to record videos. I want to go work with a client. That's what I want to do. And I say no to family. And then my family started to get very offended and very angry. But the thing is that sometimes family can actually want you to be something that you don't want to be in your heart. Comment down below if your family wants you to be something that you're not. Your family wants you to be something that you don't actually want to be. Comment down below. And I want to ask you this: what would you do differently if you were just to live a life based on truth? If you were to tell the truth more, how would your life change if you were just to tell the truth and express how you really felt? Because when you feed into this illusion of pretending to do something you don't want to do just to not disappoint somebody else, you're saying no to your own heart. You're saying no to what your heart really wants. Now, the second thing that you can do is embrace your boundaries. Embrace your boundaries. And don't be afraid of looking like an asshole. That's the second thing. Don't be afraid of offending people. So that's what really embracing your boundaries means. But the second thing you can do to not be controlled by people, by family, by friends, is don't be afraid of offending people when you tell the truth. Don't be afraid of offending people when you tell the truth. Because telling the truth is what you need to say, not only for yourself, but also that person. Because when you're living a lie, you're dishonoring your own energy and also that person's soul and that person's energy. Because you're feeding into something that you don't want to do, and you're basically communicating to that person at a very deep subconscious level that, okay, it's okay for you to control me. It's okay for you to steal my energy when I don't want to be doing this thing. So sometimes you speaking the truth and then somebody getting offended, what will happen is you'll feel more peace. You'll feel more peace. And because you feel so much peace and you're living into your own energy field at such a high level, then that person actually gets angry. That person starts to get offended. And that's not your responsibility. It's not your responsibility to deal with other people's emotional reactions to you feeling peaceful. That's not your responsibility. We take the responsibility of other people's trauma when it's just not your job. Your job is not to process other people's trauma. Your job is to process your own trauma and be in your power and be in your state of peace, and then lead by example and show the people around you in your life what it means to live a truthful and authentic life. Now, here's the thing though. When you begin to live a truthful and authentic life, people may get offended because you're actually breaking out of the confines of what that person knows you to be. And sometimes people are going to get offended. They're going to project the ideas of what they think you are when you are beginning to step into your power. But what they think you are has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them. And this sounds so egotistical, but it's like, oh, Francis, you're just blaming it on them. Of course, we always want to question if people are actually pointing to something deeper. But a lot of the times, people's projections and fears are their own issues. So this isn't about not taking advice from people or not opening your heart or not being compassionate, but it's not about being so compassionate that you're saying no to your own heart, so that you don't make people feel offended. It's not your job to protect other people's emotions, because this sounds so masculine, right? But the thing is though, you can't not tell the truth and not express how you feel because you're afraid of how people are going to react. Because you're afraid. So like if you really in your heart, for me personally, I wanted to drop out of school, right? And I did. I wanted to drop out of school. I wanted to start my YouTube channel. I wanted to create my life. And I was afraid of my family and my mom and people in my life. I was afraid that people were going to feel offended. But I realized that I can't not drop out of school because I'm afraid of people getting offended that I want to follow my purpose. I can't not record videos because I'm afraid of somebody perceiving me in a certain way. If I record videos and that makes me feel peace in my body and that makes somebody else angry, that's their responsibility to deal with that anger, not mine. Okay? So this is what we need to do. Now, the third thing you can do to not be controlled by people is understand that you always want to follow your intuition. This sounds so cliche, but your body is meant to be in a natural state of peace. This is the equilibrium that we all have. When we have proper boundaries, when we use our voice and speak boundaries into existence, when we are following our hearts, when we trust what our body is always telling us on a consistent basis, what happens is that you begin to realize that actually your natural state of being is an equilibrium. It's a state of peace. It's a state of acceptance. And what we do in society is we don't trust our hearts. We don't trust how we feel. We don't trust our intuition. We don't trust the feeling in our body. We feel like we want to say no, but we think that we should say yes to these people. Remember, if you feel guilty, you are being controlled. If you feel angry, you are being controlled. When you feel guilty, you always want to remember that somebody is controlling you, whether they realize it or not. They're manipulating you. It's full-on manipulation. It's full-on narcissistic behavior, whether the person is doing it consciously or unconsciously. So if you were to begin to trust your heart more, what would happen is that you would begin to realize that actually you shouldn't feel guilty. You'll stop feeling guilty. You'll stop feeling angry. What I noticed in my life is super interesting. The more that I trust my intuition, the more people react around me. That was a big insight. The more that I ground into my own energy field, the more that I have the people that are meant to be in my life gravitate towards me, and the more that the people aren't supposed to be in my life and are supposed to learn lessons as a result of me living my truth get repelled out of my life. So the more that I ground into my own peace, the more that some people get even more angry. The more that I feel peace, the more that somebody else might get angry at you. Do you see that? The more that you ground into your own energy, the more that somebody else might get pissed off because you're living your truth. But you living your truth and somebody getting pissed off as a result of you following your intuition, good. They should get pissed. Because when they get pissed, you're showing them what it means to live a life of truth, what it means to live a life of abundance. And you're teaching their soul at a very deep subconscious level. You're doing them a favor. So follow your intuition and always trust your body. We oftentimes always have a feeling in our body that's telling us whether we're on the right path. And we like to pretend that this feeling is not there. If you're watching this video, you're probably more empathic and more sensitive than you're giving yourself credit for. And if your intuition is saying, oh, I don't want to be around this person, your intuition is probably correct. If your intuition gets very strong and you feel lighter, you feel powerful when you're doing something or talking with somebody, your intuition is probably much more accurate than you're giving yourself credit for. So if you've been doubting your intuition, if you've been doubting the universal intelligence that's speaking through you in all moments, I'm here to confirm right now that you are allowed to trust your intuition. Comment down below, universal intelligence is always speaking through me. Comment down below, universal intelligence is always speaking through me. So that's all I have for this video. Once again, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation. Also, I do have a group program coming up in the next couple of months. If you want to be part of the program and you want more details on that, link in the description will be there for that as well. Have yourself a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.